Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon to everybody. So every year, thousands of us come to South by Southwest to talk about the future of media and entertainment. And for the last several years, we've been having some version of the same conversation. The streaming wars, subscriber growth, churn, cost-cutting, consolidation. None of that's wrong, but it's incomplete. Because while the industry debates who's winning at streaming, at NBC Universal, we have been having an entirely different question. How do we deepen the relationship between fans and the stories that they love? How do they watch? How do they share? How do they belong? From SNL, The Office, and Law & Order, to the Real Housewives and The Traitors. This content doesn't just fill time. It shapes culture. It sparks conversations. It builds fandoms that last for decades. And that brings us to a simple goal. Give people more of what they love. More ways to engage, more ways to participate, more ways to deepen the connection to the stories that move them. We are living in a moment in time where viewers have access to extraordinary content instantly. If you love video, there is no better time to be alive than now. In 2026, TV should be easy, fun, personal, connected, and yet it can still feel like work. Endless scrolling, endless searching. Years ago, you would walk into a Blockbuster and you would circle the perimeter of the store looking for that new release. Today, we do the same thing, just on a digital shelf. And even when we find something great, we've lost a piece of what made TV TV. We solved access, but we didn't solve meaning, the shared moment, the cultural connection, the feeling that we're all watching it together. We are the most connected society in history, but in a lot of ways, we're more disconnected. Abundance can create emptiness. And streaming could feel like a casino. No sense of time, no sense of place. Almost like you are staring through a glass wall. The next era of entertainment won't be defined by bigger libraries. It will be defined by deeper worlds. Entertainment won't just be something you watch, it will be something that you enter. So here's the part we don't always say out loud. Streaming TV isn't enough anymore. Not because the content isn't great, but because the experience around the content hasn't evolved as fast as the fandom. The industry spends billions creating premium stories. We get viewers deeply engaged. And then the episode ends, and what do? We push them to the next show, the next movie, the next binge. It's binary. Watch and move on. But fans often don't want to move on. They want more. When somebody finished an episode of Love Island, they don't think, what else can I watch? They think, who can I talk to about Rob? So what do? They leave the streaming platform. They go to social, they watch clips, they download podcasts, they play games, anything to stay in the world they're already in. And last summer, you can see that behavior everywhere. Love Island wasn't just a show, it was a daily conversation. People watched together and then immediately looked for the next layer. Reactions, theories, clips, communities. Some of the biggest engagement wasn't even in video. In fact, the #1 app in the App Store at the height of the season was not ChatGPT, it was not TikTok, it was the Love Island app. ChatGPT was actually #2. Think about that. The appetite for deeper connection is real. So the question isn't who wins streaming. The question is, why do the fans have to work so hard to find connection? Because the best place to experience fandom should be on the platform that created the stories in the first place. The desire for community never disappeared. The streaming experience just didn't evolve with it. So the next era of entertainment won't just be about streaming shows. It will be about entering the worlds these shows create. For 100 years, NBC Universal has navigated moments in technology where things have changed faster than the language we can use to describe it. Long before we called it broadcasting, we were building live national audiences. Before appointment TV, we were creating must-see TV. Before IP became a balance sheet term, we were building franchises that shape culture. We didn't follow formats, we follow the fans. And that instinct, finding the white space, before it even has a name, is what has let NBC Universal invent itself again and again, across theme parks, studios, film, television, sports, and news. We are built to think in symphony, not in silos. And there's no better example of that mindset than Peacock. When we launched Peacock back in 2020, the market was a very, very different place. A lot of the industry had declared linear, dead. Most streamers were focused on scripted dramas, binge drops, and ad-free. And yes, those are important ways that some people engage with content. But TV is also about something else. Timeliness, urgency, collective viewing, live events, sports, reality, and unscripted, news, multi-generational franchises, and yes, even advertising. Peacock was not built to chase other streamers. Peacock was designed to reimagine broadcast television, to extend the NBC universe and tap into what makes TV great. So while others zigged, we zagged. We built an ad-supported platform anchored in timeliness and live. We have consistently looked for the space between what exists and what audiences are starting to expect. And now, the focus is very straightforward. Build an experience that remembers you, invites you in, gives you more ways to engage, keeps you inside the world rather than pushing you out, makes you feel like you belong. Because the real battleground isn't who has the most subscribers. It's who earns the most share of time. The companies that win will be the ones that earn more of it by super serving fandoms. That's the white space. So here's the shift we believe defines the next era and how we will bring it to life. Participation isn't bolted on, it's built in. Personal, premium, connected. Not a gimmick, but a through line that keeps you coming back, not out of habit, but out of belonging. And we're starting to build that on Peacock in 3 ways. First, new formats. There is no device more personal than your phone. Most of the time, you are holding it vertically, you are navigating it with your thumb or your index finger. Yet, most streaming experiences are still built primarily for horizontal viewing. That's why Peacock was the first streamer to introduce vertical video across genres, meeting audiences where they already are. Now we've taken that even further with a show like Saturday Night Live. You can watch the full episode, or you now have a swipeable version where you can go sketch to sketch to sketch. Those can't miss moments aren't just snackable, they are a discovery engine that drives more sessions and repeat viewing. And now we're expanding that to include live vertical video. This spring, we will use AI to identify the action in a live event, like an NBA game, crop the video in real time, and make it available for streaming in a vertical video format. It's just offering a new way for fans to follow the moment. The second is more control. Now, we've heard it from fans directly. They want a more immersive experience when it comes to live events. That's why we introduced Peacock Performance View, real-time stats, probabilities, and graphical overlays that blur the line between sports and video gaming. And in the Winter Olympics, we saw fans embrace a new feature called Ringside Live for both hockey and figure skating, where viewers got to choose camera angles, dedicated feeds, and more ways to go deeper into the action. The third new participation. For fans of Law & Order, we're working with Wolf Games on an AI-powered experience where you are the detective solving the crime. Fresh, evolving gameplay that puts you inside the stories ripped from the headlines without ever having to leave the Peacock platform. And when you finish an episode of The Traitors, you shouldn't have to leave Peacock to go deeper. Companion experiences like the Traitor podcast, which actually became the #1 TV and film podcast, lets the conversation continue without missing a beat. These are early examples of a very simple principle. Stop treating the episode as the end. Start treating it as the beginning. And there may be no bigger fandom than Bravo. On Peacock, you could stream every Bravo series, season, episode. For a streaming platform, that's pretty much table stakes. But fans don't just want to access the show. They want to enter the Bravo world. Your Bravoverse, which uses generative AI to weave decades of Bravo footage into a first-of-its-kind, personalized experience, where watching a discovery happen together, all guided by a digital avatar of Andy Cohen, created using AI. And he is here today in person. What I'm describing today is not a feature roadmap. It's a commitment to the fans. Not a reshuffled homepage, not a slightly upgraded rental shelf, not sending people elsewhere to find a more expansive experience. Streaming shouldn't push people away from the worlds that they love. It should pull them deeper inside. This is how you super serve fandoms. This is how you will earn more share of time. This is how you keep communities where they belong, inside the ecosystem that sparked them. For 100 years, NBC Universal has found that white space. Today, the white space is clear. That glass wall era is ending. And the next era of streaming is immersive entertainment. Connected, personal, and built for fans and the communities they create. Because when fans care about something, they don't just watch it, they analyze it, they debate it, they build entire conversations around it. And nowhere is that more true than with Bravo fans.
Hey, everybody. Whoa, these low chairs. Oh, my cards.
That's not good.
Okay, Essie, I'm going to get these together.
Thanks.
For you.
And just in case anyone's wondering, he's not AI here.
I'm not the AI.
Here today, I'm touching him.
This is me. This is me now.
Here, we're fine. We're good. We're good.
Okay.
You're the best.
Okay.
I just want you all to know, I am here as
These are in order.
You're the best. Always a producer, right? Once a producer, always a producer.
These low chairs.
We're comfy. We're cozy. Okay. I'm here as a fan. Okay. This does not work for me. I am here as a fan because Bravo is not a network. It's a community and a family and a universe to escape into, right? And boy, do we need that. I'm sure you saw Christina Applegate recently talking about how Bravo and Housewives have been her escape to distract her from the pain of MS, which is so powerful.
Yes.
Bravo has been a lifesaver for me when I've just OD'd on the news.
Yeah.
Did you know this when you were building this network?
No, but we've found it out incrementally through the years.
Yeah.
I mean, we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Real Housewives franchise this year, which is unbelievable. In 2 weeks or a week, I think we're going to mark the premiere of the Real Housewives of Orange County 20 years ago. And but what Christina Applegate said was something that I hear around the country and now around the world. And people say, you know, I don't get along with my parents about anything, or about, you know, my mom and I don't get along, my sister and I get along. Bravo is our safe space. And I think Bravo is this weird, you know, safe space for a lot of people. And for a lot of people who are flipping by, they may view it as one thing, like, oh my God, this drama is so much. And it is incredible to me how much I hear from people that, oh no, this takes me out of my problem.
Right. Right, and it sounds anathema, like, what, you want to jump into drama? Yes, this is the drama I want in my life. What I don't want is reality.
Yes.
Because that sucks, okay? Right. Reality sucks.
You want somebody else's reality.
That's right. Can I
Yes.
borrow someone else's problems?
Yes.
For
You're
an
Lisa
hour?
Barlow's.
Yeah, thank you, exactly.
Yes.
Matt, you were talking about your Bravo-verse, and I really want you to unpack that and explain it to folks. But before you do, let's take a look at a quick demo.
Bravo fans don't just watch, they live in this universe, tracking every iconic moment with more passion than any other fandom. But sometimes they want more. Introducing your Bravoverse, a first-of-its-kind experience to help you find your next show on Peacock and explore decades of history in an endlessly scrollable universe. Hosted by me, Andy Cohen's digital avatar, powered by AI and curated by the Bravo team. You get started by telling us your name and the shows and drama you care about most, so we can tailor this just for you. Curated, AI-powered playlists flow clip to clip that learns what you love, adapts to your tastes, and gives every fan a Bravoverse that feels uniquely yours. A new way to watch, a new way to engage. With me, Andy Cohen, as your guide. A new way to experience Bravo. This summer, only on Peacock.
Okay, so fun.
That was AI Andy.
Yes, yes. They went with short hair, Andy.
They did.
They went with like
We can make
pro.
it longer. We can adjust it.
But I want to know from both of you, A, for Andy, how does it feel to be an AI Sherpa through the Bravo universe? And Matt, how did you all come up with this, and why did you think this was the next thing for Bravo fans?
Well, I mean, it's kind of what Andy said. Like, there probably is no bigger fandom than
No.
Bravo. And you've got decades of unbelievable programming that's almost impossible for any human to watch all of it.
No, it's not, but fine. Sounds like a dare, accepted. Yep.
And so, this is where technology meets fandom. And I don't think we could have created something like this a few years ago without AI.
Yeah.
But we are literally using AI to scan every second of every show and episode of Bravo. The AI could tag exactly what's happening, who's in the scene, what's the storyline, and it creates a searchable database. And so now, as a fan, you kind of saw on the screen, you could tell us, like, what are your favorite shows, who are your favorite Bravo celebrities, what are the storylines that you're most interested in?
Yeah.
And then we can weave together, like, almost in real time, like, playlists catered directly to you. And we tried to calculate how many different permutations we could be creating, and it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 billion to 600 billion different kinds of playlists.
Wow.
And so it's truly personalized, but to offer that is like almost like a rabbit hole for a Bravo fan to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. But you also need credibility, and that's where Andy comes in.
Yep.
Because Andy, as amazing as he is, probably couldn't do a personalized clip for 600 billion, but his AI avatar can.
Yes.
And so we did the same process with Andy, where we took Andy and we fed him into the AI agent, and after lots and lots of collaboration,
Sounds weird.
we've got a really, really good, AI avatar, and he is personalized to you as well.
It's really cool because, first of all, I love my AI guy because you can tell he's AI, which I think is actually really important. I think if it was a complete deep fake, it could be, weird.
And manipulative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think it's clear that you're watching an AI version of me, but he actually has all the information that I have, which is a lot about it's a deep bench of knowledge, and he will tell you whatever you want to know. So it's like, just put a quarter in me and I'll go, and I'll tell you what you want to know. And it's just really exciting because it does tailor the experience for everyone, and everyone who loves Bravo has a different point of view and a different entry point. And where it starts is one place, but where the Bravoverse can take you is an entirely different place. And it also allows you the ability to say, wow, I love that clip. Let me watch the full episode.
Yeah.
Or what's the story? Why are they fighting? And then click on that, and then I'll tell you. It's really infinite and exciting.
Well, and I mean, I used to think that I was a searchable database for Bravo fandom, right? Like deep.
You still are.
I am. But I love that we have this tool now.
Yeah.
Where I was wondering. Remember that scene 15 years ago from this friend? Let me go find it.
Yeah.
And then I love going down rabbit holes,
Yes.
right? Don't we all?
Yes.
And I think what we're all learning right now, and this is a great extension, is TV viewing is no longer passive. We want to participate. We want to engage and interact, and we don't want it to be over when the episode's over.
And I
which
think
y'all
that's
learned a long time ago.
We learned a long time ago with Watch What Happens Live,
Exactly.
which is in its 16th year, and that's been a way that we've been super serving the fans, where you can watch the show and then stay watching Bravo or stay watching Peacock and get way more info from us in the clubhouse, which is great. But this is like adding a whole other level to it.
And Matt, when you think about where entertainment and streaming are both headed, you talk about building this for fans, but why is this interaction almost as important as the content itself?
Well, I mean, content and fandom are two sides of the same coin. And so I think, if you think about, we have access to infinite programming at the touch of a button, but you also have the paradox of choice. And people are still struggling with, like, how do I find something to watch? Yeah. The same thing is happening with fans. If you do find something that you're really passionate about, you as the fan are then left trying to figure out, how do I connect with others?
Yeah.
Or how do I find other ways
to more?
engage? So it's the same issue. And so I think this is the opportunity for a streaming platform, which is not to just think of it as a place to offer the show or the movie, but actually the best place to experience the fandom should be on the platform that created the fandom.
Yes.
And so I think that is the opportunity. And so something like Bravo just was the most natural place for us to start. And we want to give fans the best experience, and we want to allow them to really connect in a way that drives to their passion of like what they love about it.
Yeah. Well, the platform is the first best place. The second best place is BravoCon, okay? Let me just tell you, I've been to all 4 BravoCons, where I get to interview Bravo celebrities, and I always joke that it's the Super Bowl, but better. Because you could get the $5 million ticket to the Super Bowl. You don't get to go into the locker room, meet all the players, take pictures with everyone, act out your favorite plays, buy merch directly from them, and then party with them later that night. Talk about the magic that is BravoCon.
It's pretty incredible. I mean,
Incredible.
It is. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and we have perfected every year that we've done it, which is 4. We've taken great pains to listen to the fans and see what they loved and what areas we could improve on. And every year it's gotten better and better and more super serving the fans. And one thing about the Bravo celebrities is they love interacting with their fans, and it's such a positive experience, BravoCon, not just for the fans but for the Bravo celebrities. I mean, there are people who really put their lives out there and receive a lot of love, but they also receive a lot of, kind of unsolicited feedback via social media.
Yeah.
Sometimes not always that positive, but, BravoCon is a really happy place. And people really, I think it's a place also where people have this shared interest and fandom, and it's just really exciting.
It is the happiest place on earth.
It really is. And I have to say, and for me, it's like, it's very moving to me when I go to BravoCon. I just feel like I can't believe I've been at Bravo for since 2022 years. It's been an incredible thing that we've now built this into a place you can go.
Yeah.
And it's very moving. It means a lot to a lot of people. Yeah.
It does.
And we did a survey last year. How would you rank BravoCon in terms of basically your life of experiences? And I think it was in the high 70s or 80%. Viewed it as one of the best weekends of their lives, alongside birth of a child, wedding.
Totally.
It's amazing.
For me, I'm usually just trying to keep Shep from getting kicked out of the casino.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, we all are. We love him.
It takes a village.
We love him. I remember when reality TV was called a guilty pleasure. No guilt here. Don't feel guilty at all. When did you realize that Bravo had moved from like niche reality to mainstream pop culture, important, relevant?
I think it was kind of incremental. I look back on Top Chef's first Emmy nomination. That was really big, and the impact of that show had. Yeah. The Housewives started really hitting. It was a slow burn, and by the time Jersey premiered, they were featuring the table flip in the opening of the Emmys, the opening montage of the biggest moments of the year. And I remember we were all sitting there in the audience like, wow. I mean, that was a really big moment. And, you know, you look at the clip of all the people imitating Heather Gay. I mean, you guys could have made that clip around so many different lines from Bravo. And I think once we started seeing how those lines became part of the mass lexicon, that was big too.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, you can go click on the QR code, I think, in your South by app to ask questions. I want to go to one audience question right now. Andy, I know you don't like to pick favorites, but what has been your favorite all-time Real Housewives reunion moment?
Wow, we shot the Beverly Hills reunion last Friday, 2 days ago. It was epic, really good, very long day. I would say that it was either season 8 or 9 of Atlanta with the whole Phaedra Candy thing. That was very dramatic. Yes. A lot of times when the reunions that I like the most are when something happens at the reunion, something is revealed, and then we have to spend kind of hours digging into it. Even the Potomac reunion before this season, where they were accusing Stacey of, you know, tomfoolery relating to the man that she was seeing, and that was something that was kind of developing in real time. Right. And so that's always really interesting because it's all kind of new information for the viewers, and it's happening on our watch. I love it when people who have been really feuding come together at the reunion, and we've seen some great reconciliations over the years, which it makes me so happy when that happens.
And when it doesn't, right? Like the bunny.
That was rough, but that was also so iconic.
Iconic.
You know, I realized on that day we were just making incredible television.
Incredible. Incredible. Can we talk about the A-list celebrities? You saw some of them in the sizzle reel that they played. Oprah, Julia Roberts, Rihanna, Meryl Streep. I remember when Dorinda said that Hillary Clinton was watching Roni in real time. You've interviewed so many iconic people on Watch What Happens Live. Who's your next big get?
The big gets, I mean, we're always working on a lot of people. I would say after seeing that clip of Michelle Obama, who talked about the Housewives of Jersey and was explaining it to her brother for about 10 minutes.
Yes.
And she was and it was so surreal for me seeing her explain to him that moment where Teresa kind of pushed me at the reunion, and she's explaining it to him. I was like, this is so surreal.
The former First Lady said prostitution whore on a radio show.
My forever FLOTUS. So I would love to have her there.
Yeah. Matt, live events like BravoCon, but also like your sort of community events that you're doing across the country have become so important. Even in my business, you can go now and watch your favorite like political pundit perform live. How important has this been to the future of TV and streaming?
Well, it's interesting. Most streaming services are on demand, and they focus on binge viewing, and binge viewing is one way people watch television. Everybody's binge viewed stuff at one point, just like you might go to a wedding and binge drink, but hopefully you don't do that all the time. And it turns out that
not binge drink.
I mean, but there's something about live television around how that actually gets us, watching together. There's an urgency to it. There's a timeliness to it. And that's, I think, one of the strengths of NBC Universal. Certainly it's one of the strengths, I think, of Bravo and BravoCon. And so we've really leaned into that. And so we're kind of just going back to like, how do people really watch? how do we tap back into that cultural aspect of what makes video and television so great? And live is a critical piece of that. And when you can get somebody to tune in and watch something live, it's also a great way to then also introduce them to all the other content that you have on your platform. And so it becomes a really important, almost infinity loop to create daily usage and daily, for lack of a better word, like habituation of getting people to open up your app every single day.
Yeah.
I love the urgency of The Traitors and Love Island and when the Housewives shows post on Peacock, because they're once a week, but you know when they're dropping, you know what time, and you have to get there at that time.
Yeah.
And it's old school, but it really works.
It's funny, when we had Love Island last summer, I'm trying to remember, I think the first, we dropped the episodes, it was 6 days a week, we dropped the episode, and one of the episodes came to us from Fiji, and there was a problem with it, and so we had to have them send us the episode. And so instead of dropping the episode at 9, it dropped 9:25. And people were losing their mind.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And so that's when I knew we had lightning in a bottle, because I was looking at social media. I'm like, people are paying attention to the time. And in a way, that is television. And I think that is the huge area that we've been really focusing on, is that connection with people.
And speaking of Love Island, I read that over 30% of viewing for Love Island happened on mobile phones. The phone has become your primary screen for a lot of folks.
Which makes sense because it also caters to typically a younger audience with Love Island.
Yeah.
But I think, most streaming services, when they were designed, they were built for the television.
Yeah.
And then they port the streaming app onto the computer and to the phone. And we've been trying to take a fresh look at it to say, how do you actually look at the modality of how do people use these different devices? And the way you use your phone is different than the way you use your television. And so we've been trying to really focus on how do we just think a little bit differently about meeting the fan where they are. And that's why, something like swipeable video or AI.
The Bravoverse works so
Bravoverse.
well to what you're saying.
Right. And so that's where we really are just trying to take a fresh look at how do we take advantage of the technology and the different screen and the way people utilize these screens to create better experiences.
I like to watch my pecs and abs from Love Island on a large screen.
Yeah. That's your choice.
Call me crazy.
No judgment. I'm going to ask some more business questions, but I wouldn't feel right if I didn't ask some questions for the fans. Where are we with New Jersey?
We are getting close with very close with New Jersey. We had a powwow the other day, and we're getting real close. Real close.
Real close. Real close. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the title of the Danielle Staub single, Real Close.
Oh, real close. Okay.
You can watch that in the Bravoverse when she performed it.
Boom.
On Watch What Happens Live.
Perfect.
Yes.
AI Andy will show you the way.
He will show you. He will lead you right to that clip. You type in creepy lesbian duets, and it will take you right to that clip.
Okay. As a New Englander, I've been dying for this moment. Tell me what you can about Rhode Island.
Essie, you're not ready
Am I
for
not
this
ready?
jelly. It is so good. I watched episodes 9 and 10 on the flight this morning here.
Oh my God.
And it's giving me everything that I love in the Housewives. The women are all stars. They're so funny. They are the drama. We were talking about Rhode Island backstage. It's our smallest state, along with Delaware, and they all seem to know each other or be related or all went to high school together or all of the above. The layers are plentiful. They're all in each other's lives, and it's super dramatic. It's also serving me as a destination in the way that Housewives should, in that I really now want to go to Rhode Island in the summer.
Yeah.
It's the ocean state.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. We shot it in the summer. It's all water. And it's great. But it's so funny. There is not a dud episode in the bunch. You're going to love it. And I'm not overhyping it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Andy, I just recently saw you talking about John Mayer's reaction to hanging out with you and Shep and Austin and Craig from Southern Charm. That is a hangout I'm sure many Bravo fans wish they were there for, right? So I had an idea. Could fans get like an Andy and Friends in the future where you bring Bravo Lebs and your amazing celebrity friends together for a hang?
That's a good idea.
Isn't
I mean,
it?
that's kind of what the Clubhouse is. I mean, we kind of do it on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that would be hilarious. And I happen to be going out to dinner with those guys, and John said, "Can I crash?" And he
Yes.
spent the first 5 minutes asking them, well, what is Southern Charm all about? And do you all share a house? And do you date the same girls?
Yeah.
And it was very funny.
It was so funny, and you describing it was so funny.
Yes.
But like I could imagine like an SJP and like a Kristen Doty and
Yes.
like a weird worlds colliding.
I think it's a great idea.
It is a great idea. You're welcome. I love doing Watch What Happens Live. It's so fun. And the audience is so engaged. The questions are so good. I want to go to more audience questions because I love getting audience questions when I'm there.
Yes.
They're great. So one of them here is, what's your favorite Anderson Cooper moment? I love that.
Just in life.
I think maybe that we've all seen either on
Yes.
New Year's or
You
in
know,
the Clubhouse.
God, I mean, every New Year's Eve is my kind of winds up being my favorite New Year's Eve. I'll never forget when I went ham on Mayor de Blasio.
Yes, you did.
And we got in the car after to go out to a party at 12:30 in the morning. And I looked on Twitter and I was trending and I looked at, I saw the clip and I said, oh my God. I said sayonara sucka to the mayor, and Anderson goes,
You did.
yes, you did. You did. I think Anderson, I think when John Mayer was on from the Cat Cafe in Japan, that was so funny. My job is to get him a little buzzed or a lot buzzed and make him giggle.
Yeah.
And so I always feel like I've done the right thing when I do that.
You're excellent at that. Matt, when the Bravo universe began, social media really wasn't a thing yet. Yeah. How have you made use of that incredible technological tool to increase fan interaction and engagement? It's not something that every network and brand has totally figured out.
Well, I think if you go back to when we created Peacock, we were really trying to identify what are some of the fandoms that we could really build out.
Yeah.
And Francis Berwick, who is the chairman of Bravo and Unscripted for NBC Universal, Bravo historically was obviously a cable network. I mean, if you wanted to get Bravo, you had to sign up for pay television. Mm-hmm. And that's where we really thought was this opportunity to expand the aperture, reach new audiences, give people the ability to get access to it through streaming. But there was a question about whether or not that was going to cannibalize ratings or not. That's always the fear that executives have. And of course, it's a real credit to the team that we took that risk, but it also speaks to meet the fans where they are.
Right.
If you start with the fan, everything ultimately will fall into place. And if you look at where we are today, something like the Bravoverse is just the natural evolution of this journey that we've been on.
Right.
And the audiences for Bravo have grown. The audiences for the shows have grown. The audience for the network has grown. It's been a win for Peacock, and I think it's a win for the fans. And so we're just on this amazing journey. I think the Bravoverse is just one more stop on it. But I think we're going to continue to find ways to really surprise and delight people. And I think Bravo is just probably one of the best test cases for us, just given the passion that these fans have and the depth of the content. There's just so much great content that we can kind of work with that makes it really exciting.
Yeah, and social has become such an extension of the show. I can watch my favorite housewives or my favorite below deck stars kind of like going at it on X or on Instagram, and it's become part of the conversation. But Andy, how do you contain it? Because sometimes there are conversations happening online, and then they end up referenced on a show. And it's such a,
There's been a crazy evolution of that, by the way. I mean, we used to not want to acknowledge any universe outside of what was happening in front of the camera on the Housewives.
Yeah.
And how times have changed. I remember early in the Real Housewives of New York, a storyline, Simon Van Kempen's tweeting became a storyline. You can watch those clips on the Bravoverse, I'm sure, if you put that search word in. But that became he was kind of tweeting stuff about the women, and they couldn't believe it. And now it's just happening. It's just every day ending in Y, basically, that happens. Yeah. And so how can we contain it? We can't. We can just try to incorporate it and follow it as much as we can.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's just a play. Look, social media is just where the conversation, keeps happening. Yeah. And I think that it's just, part of the impact of these shows.
Well, we wouldn't have receipts, timeline, et cetera, without the social media universe. And,
yes.
Yeah.
We want to keep these shows grounded. I mean, too much of it is too much of it. Yeah. So there is a fine line, and that's kind of on us and the women to dial back on when we have to.
What do you do when fans are saying, oh, we hate this cast member for myriad reasons, whatever, but they're great television?
I think that it's up to us. I think, first of all, there are two categories of hating someone that you're watching: love to hate or hate to hate.
Right.
And I think that hopefully the people that you're not vibing at that moment are people that you love to hate. The other thing is, we want to humanize everybody, certainly on all over Bravo, but on the Housewives, I think that it's also the impetus is on us to maybe understand someone's motivations or the pain that they're carrying around, or why they're treating a friend this way or where they're coming from. And I think through the great storytelling that we have, presenting these people as fully realized human beings will help ground them. And I think the great thing about these shows, and one of the reasons people keep watching, is that they can say, wow, I totally get this person and my perspective is changing. You can change your opinion on someone, as the weeks go by. And by the way, that's what happens in life. You can have someone in your life and you can have a moment with them that is quite edifying about who they are. And then you can say, oh, wow, I'm really getting this person now.
I think a really good example of that, and this dovetails with an audience question, is Mary Cosby.
Mary, absolutely.
I got to be honest, when she didn't show up at a reunion, I was like, well, she's dead to me. Because the reunion's for me. That's for the fan. That's where I get social justice, okay? But over the course of the seasons, she has been so humanized. And when her son tragically died, I felt that viscerally because we had gotten to know her and that particular struggle. So the audience question is horrified at the death of Mary's son. How do you handle filming, producing, and showing moments as tough but real and human as that?
How we handle it is with incredible care and with constant dialogue with the people whose lives you're covering. Yeah. So in terms of Mary, it really, we love her so much. And so many people were so moved, including us, obviously, by the conversations that she had with her son, Robert Jr., surrounding his issues with addiction. And they touched so many people. And the feedback that she received was really overwhelming. And, with what's happening now, it's just really with care and with saying, you need to go take all the time in the world that you need to take for yourself, because that's a mother's loss, and she needs time and space. Yeah. And so we follow her lead.
Yeah.
This is a group of women who are really tight-knit and they really support each other. And so those women, and I've talked to Mary a lot in the last few weeks, those women are really her support system for real, not as a TV thing. So, she's got a lot of love around her, and certainly we wish her every great piece of strength.
Oh, absolutely. That's about as real as it gets. To happier things, can we talk about the new Roni?
Yes, absolutely.
What were you responding to with the changes you made to casting?
We were responding to a season that was kind of had mixed reaction from fans, and We were responding to some women that we, knew that had more story to tell. And we got a lot of questions over the time between announcing that we are currently in production on the new season and, then wrapping that last reunion. What are you going to do? And for us, it was about making it right and making it perfect before we rolled cameras. And that was the most important thing. There was a moment last year where we thought we had the cast. There was so much pressure. There was so much pressure at BravoCon. When are they coming back? When are they coming back? We just wanted to get it right, and we knew we had to get it right.
Yeah.
So for us, we know that the elements that are super important, certainly in New York and any other cast, is that the women have a real deep connection as a group. The new cast really has that.
Okay, good.
And that there is, real things happening in their lives, that those things all happen in front of the camera, and that there's a great deal of humor. And we feel really strong that the next season is going to deliver. We're excited that Carol's coming back as a friend.
Yes.
People love seeing familiar faces and old friends. And the funny thing is, people kept asking, what is Carol's connection to this group? And Carol keeps pointing out, I actually know more people in this group than I did when I joined the original show in season 5 all those years ago. So it's all organic, and we're really bullish on it. And we are in production currently.
Yay. Matt, what has Bravo taught you about the other networks in your stable?
Yeah, Matt.
Well, I mean, it's kind of what I hit on earlier, that, as big as certain fandoms are, it's like we're just scratching the surface at how we're trying to meet the fans, And so this idea of going deeper and really bringing the community in. When you were talking about social media before, the reality is so much of what drives social media emanates from the content and the fandoms that we create as media companies, but we're then pushing people out. And so I think that, when we're taking a fresh look at what does it really mean to be a streaming platform in 2026, and if you're just focusing on the content, even though that is the center of gravity, the long form, the shows, there's all this other dark matter that's happening that we are not really being able to participate in a way that creates the best experience. The best place to watch Bravo should be on Bravo and on Peacock. And so it doesn't mean that you don't want to partner with other platforms and you don't want to allow people to experience them elsewhere, but how we pull that in and create a really unified experience for fans, I think, is a huge opportunity for us. But it's a different mindset than just thinking of streaming as episodes and movies.
Yep.
It's about fandom and community.
And I think Bravo is one of the last television brands that is actually a brand that really means something to people.
Oh, yeah.
People say, what are you doing tonight? I'm going to go home and watch Bravo.
Yeah.
They don't say that about other channels.
No, they say, I'm going to watch football, or I'm going to watch the news.
Yes.
You're so true. The brand loyalty to Bravo, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. Another fan question, Andy, what is your favorite Bravo quote or meme or?
Oh, my God.
So many.
I mean, there are too many to count. I mean, who gonna check me, boo?
Yeah.
I had like a good 5-year run with that.
Oh, good.
There was this throwaway line that Luann said years ago. Not really. I
So
say
good.
that all the time.
Not really. Yeah.
Certainly say "not well, bitch" every so
Yeah.
often. I mean,
I don't know what I've done to you, but I'll take a Pinot Grigio.
yes.
I love that. I
This
use that
goes
all the time.
On and on.
So good. I've been rewatching a bunch of my favorite seasons because it's so nostalgic. Why do you both think that these shows remain so culturally relevant year after year, even as like our tastes change?
I think that it's, look, all great credit to the success of Bravo, not only to our great storytellers, but to the men and women who are on Bravo.
Yeah.
The casting is absolutely paramount. And you're going to see it with the Housewives of Rhode Island, and you see it with, season 1 of any of these Housewives shows, or at Southern Charm or Summer House, or any of these shows that are now in their 10 plus years of being on. These are people who are uniquely themselves. They're funny. They are sometimes really mainly unintentionally funny. They're not trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But they're really memorable, and they say funny shit, SC.
I know. It's so good. And they share their lives with us, which is a big ask, right?
Yes.
For entertainment purposes. It's a huge ask. And the best cast members are the ones that just do it with abandon. Another audience question, I think I know the answer to this, but do you think you'll do a Housewives for every state? I don't think so.
Oh my God.
No.
By the way, we were worried about saturation like 8 Housewives ago.
Right. I don't think you have to worry about that.
Funnily enough, it appears there is a market, for new places.
Alaska?
When we brought Salt Lake, when we announced Salt Lake City at BravoCon, I think like 3 BravoCons ago, it really blew people away. They didn't expect us to be doing a new one, and they didn't expect it to be in Salt Lake City. And Potomac before that, and now Rhode Island. But man, they're so viable. Just trust us that we won't make the jump. There's more that we don't air, that we do casting around, than there are that wind up making it. And that's because we only bring forward what we know is going to be absolutely great and meet your high standards.
That is something that Bravo is absolutely fantastic at. They only make stuff we want to watch, right? They know what we want to watch. You figured out the secret sauce.
Yeah, I mean, and by the way, if you look
incredible.
at Ladies of London, there was so much demand for so many years to bring Ladies of London back.
Yes.
That was a question I got for so long. Miami Housewives, which we brought back exclusively on Peacock at first, was another big one. And when you look at the reboot of Ladies of London, it is outstanding. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Casting that you're not going to get anywhere else. There's 3 episodes right now on Peacock. You can catch up, and it's just gangbusters. And I have not seen response for a new show on Bravo like this in a minute. It's really exciting.
Fantastic. Well, Matt and Andy, thanks so much. This was a great conversation. I hope you guys had so much fun.
Thanks, everybody. I'll see you in the Bravoverse.
That's right. He has another. Let's make South by Southwest fun again.
Yes.